In this video, I'm going to go through a couple of word problems where you're expected to write the equation and in some instances solve the equation. So hopefully throughout the video, I'm going to give a few tips and tricks as to how you could solve these word problems. There are a lot of problems in this video, so do pause on a question. If you feel like you want to attempt it, then do attempt it, and then you can skip to the solution. If you got it right, then great. If not, then you can look through my full explanation. You don't have to watch the whole video, but it's good practice to see as many questions as possible. The first 3 questions I'm going to attempt are just write an equation sort of questions. You're not expected to solve the equations. Just write the formula down or the equation down. So we'll start with the first one. So Peter's buying some outdoor furniture for his patio. Tables cost £40 each and chairs cost £25 each. Dollars. You need to start organizing your information down because it's going to help you later on. So we have tables are $40 and chairs are $25. Peter buys 10 items of furniture. So the total that he buys, he could buy 5 of this, 5 of that, 3 of this, 7 of that, doesn't matter. The total is 10 items of furniture. So the total is 10 item. And they all cost $280. And they said, let the number of tables purchased be T. Now, in some questions, they won't tell you what variable to use and what to represent it by. You need to come up with it. In this one, they've already told you. So the unknown in this question will be the table. So I have T tables in this instance. Now, but I don't know how many chairs I have. And so I'm not sure what equation to form. Now, in this instance, they've given you a cost for each one. They've given you how many you have in total, and they've given you the total cost. So what they want you, what is being implied, the equation that you need to write is how many tables and chairs they bought should be equal to how much it cost. So you need to have this equation, this equality there. So the number of tables bought is T. They've already told us to use that, so we don't know what that is. Now, if out of the 10, these are your 10 items, T of them are tables, then automatically whatever is left is 10 minus T. So this is the chairs. So the chairs that we don't know are actually 10 minus T. T could be 2, could be 3, could be 5, could be 7, it could be 10 as well. Whatever it is, the chairs will be 10 minus that, so your total minus that. Now this trick will be quite repetitive in some of the questions we'll be seeing today. So the number of chairs is 10 minus T. So if I bought T tables, the cost of T tables will be 40 times T. So because each table is 40, and if I bought 5 tables, then I need to do 40 times 5. If I bought 6 tables, it's 40 times 6. If I bought T tables, it's 40 times T. And the chairs, it's similar, but I need to put brackets, 25 and then 10 minus T. So that's the total cost this time for tables, and the total cost for chairs, which means the total cost for all of these should add up to 280. And that's it. That should be your final answer. So 40T plus 25, 10 minus T equals to 280. Now, if they said write it in simplest form, then you are expected to simplify. Sometimes they do want you to just write it in this form, just so that you make it clear that these are the tables, these are the chairs. For the purpose of completion, I'm going to simplify it just because it's going to be better to deal with less brackets. But do show this step just in case you weren't meant to simplify it, then at least you have your working out shown in the beginning. And so I collect my like terms. So 40 minus 25 will be 15T. Plus 250 equals to 80. You are not expected to solve it. It's very tempting to solve the equation now, so you're not expected to. That's why it might just be better to just leave it in this form, because as you go, you might be tempted to just subtract 250 from both sides and then divide by 15. You're not expected to find t unless they told you to. So this is how we're going to do the questions. I explained this in a lot of detail. I'm going to kind of whiz through the others. But this technique where you do the total minus the variable you have will be quite repetitive. Pencils cost 40 pence, erasers cost 70 pence, so pencils are 40 pence and erasers are 70 pence each. If I purchase 3 fewer erasers than pencils, the total cost will be £3.40. The variable P represents the number of pencils purchased. This time they didn't give us the total, but they did tell us the relationship between the erasers and the pencils. So if I use P for pencils, so this is the number of pencils. The number of erasers, 3 fewer erasers than pencils. So I bought 3 fewer erasers than pencils. So if I bought 10 pencils, then it means I got 7 erasers. Whenever you're confused with these type of questions, replace them with numbers. So try to interpret what are you doing in your head. So if I purchase 15 pencils and if it says 3 fewer erasers than pencils, it means you got 12 erasers. So you are always subtracting 3 from the total number of pencils. So P and then P minus 3. And now you have a way to represent the pencils, a way to represent erasers using variables. You just write the full amount. So in total, I have 40 pencils plus, 40 pence times the pencils, and then 70 pence times the erasers. Now, I can't write 340 because I've used pence in here. 40 pence and 70 pence. And then 3.40 pounds is actually in pounds. It's not in pence. So you'll have to convert it to pence. And this is going to be 340 pence. Or alternatively, you can do 0.40 pounds plus 0.70 pounds. Obviously with the variables, and then 3.40. You could also do that. Either are acceptable. And that's it. That's your equation. So again, you need to represent each of your variables using a letter, and it's better to relate one variable with the other. So I've related the erasers with the pencils, and then you multiply the cost for each. The third one as well, write an equation. So we have a group of friends went to a cafe for tea and coffee. Tea cost €2.50 euros, and coffee cost 3.60 euros. The number of people who ordered coffee was twice the number who ordered tea. So again, we have a relationship here between the variables. And the total bill was 29.10 euros. So let the number of people who ordered tea be T. So they've already given us the variable. So I'm going to have a number of people who ordered tea will be T. The number of people who ordered coffee, they've already told us the people who ordered coffee was twice the number who ordered tea. So twice the number will be 2T. And so overall, using the costs that we have, everything is in euros, so we'll keep it the same. If tea costs £2.50, so it's €2.50. Tea. If the zero is slightly confusing, you can just stick with the letters, and then we have €3, 3.60 euros, and this time it's 2T, and they should all equal to 29.10 euros. Now, this you can simplify. Always simplify the variables you have. This cannot be simplified, 25T. This can be simplified, and so it's going to be 77.2T, which is equal to 29.10. You can simplify this further if you want to. I would actually simplify it further, and then that's 9.7 t, which is equal to 29.10. For the sake of keeping currencies in the correct units, do write the 0 in there. So 9.70 t equals to 29.10 euros. Again, I just multiplied this out, so 3.60 times 2 times t, I'm just multiplying the 2 by 3 euros 60, 3.60 euros, and that should be your answer. So that's the final answer right in the equation. So this video is about writing equations. If you are asked to solve it, then you'll have to solve it like you do any equation, and then you'll end up with t equals to something. In the next video, I'm going to explain further how you can start these word problems and then solve them to find the variables that they need or answer the questions that they ask.